All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got 8-game on today's Friday slate of the NBA. Guys, it's 11/11, November 11th. Hopefully that's got to bring us some luck, right? To you guys watching, to my picks, everyone good luck in their picks tonight. But we got 8 games on the slate. We're going to jump into each and every game. I'll give you my lean, give you what I'm thinking. We'll talk about the game. But as always, I say it in every video, my final plays will be in the pinned comment. What I'm actually going to be rolling with will be in the pinned comment. Last night, we ended up going 2-2 in our personal plays, and then the ride of the day does not come through, so we go 2-3 overall. In terms of our wins, we had Monte Morris under 11.5 points, easy cash, and then we had the Hornets. If I had the soundboard here, I'd sound the psycho alarm because that was a psycho pick, but we had the Hornets plus 10.5 in a spot that, you know, it'd be crazy to think that they were going to be able to compete with the Heat. Heat had a bunch of days rest. Hornets run a back-to-back, bunch of guys out, but the Hornets pull it off. I think they lost by only 5 points, so this Hornets team, for whatever reason, when we take these big numbers with them, they continue to cash for us. And then in terms of losses, we were big Kyle Lowry fans last night, and I don't know why. I don't know why that whole day I was like, oh, Kyle Lowry's going to ball out tonight. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He didn't have a tough game. He didn't have a terrible game, but he doesn't come through with his points plus rebounds or his rebounds plus assists line. So, you know, probably not the sharpest play there, thinking Kyle Lowry was going to be able to cover 2 overs for us. And then the ride of the day there, guys, also doesn't hit, but it was Jimmy Butler over 2.5 steals plus blocks. Jimmy finishes with 2 steals, just no blocks. This we got at plus 130 or 135, I believe. So he who's back had the play. We jumped on board. We said, oh, I like that value. It just doesn't come through. It was close, but it was a long shot, a plus money play. We got a little greedy for the number there. But, guys, if you want to be the ride of the day, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. And I'll be jumping on board with one person's play in the comments. And you guys will get a shout out just like he who's back did today, win or loss, all right? But let's jump into these games. Before we do that, I do have to talk to you a little bit quickly about MyBookie, guys, the best sports book out there. If you're going to make some plays tonight, why don't you do it over on MyBookie? They're going to give you a first-time deposit match up to a certain percentage. You can use the code GBS and the link in the description. They have an amazing selection and assortment of plays and odds and everything out there. And you guys know I'm always about odd shopping, right? If you can have multiple books, you can use that to your advantage. Why not throw MyBookie into the mix? Sometimes their lines differ by a whole point, odds and all that stuff, guys. You can really use that to your advantage, and it's definitely an opportunistic approach of sports betting. So head over to MyBookie, guys. Use the code GBS and that link in the description. Super easy interface, very quick, very fast, and we're getting a lot of good things about. I've heard a lot of good things from you guys signing up on MyBookie. So make sure to go check that out, guys. Use that link in the description and code GBS. First game on the board today, we have the Nuggets taking on my Boston Celtics. Celtics, 4.5-point favorites. It's funny, both of these teams, their straight-up record, 8-3, and they're against the spread record, 5-6 match here. Boston, last game out, Boston takes the win against Detroit. They've won 4 straight against Chicago, New York, Memphis, and then Detroit. Denver also on a 4-game winning streak. A lot of parallels from these two teams, but Denver has not covered in 2 straight games. I am going to lean the Celtics in this one. I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm a little bit biased. I tell you guys that with full transparency. No Brogdon for the Celtics either, but I'm still going to lean Celtics here, minus 4.5 at home after a day's rest here. So, and then the total is 231. I know it's a really high number, but I could see this game going over. So I peek at the over. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we actually roll with that. But I could see this game going over. Both these teams have shown that they can easily score, you know, 125 plus. And if we get a 125 to 124 type game, like, we're cashing, you know what I mean? So keep an eye on the pinned comment. I do slightly lean over. Next game, we have the Suns taking on the Magic here. Magic getting 7 points. And it's funny, this Magic team is just covering in weird spots. They're only 5-2 against the spread on the year, but it's like every time I look at their games, I feel like they covered the previous game here. Just like they did last game against Dallas. They were 8.5-point underdogs. They take that game outright. And it was a 94-87 win there. That being said, I do think 7 points is manageable from the Phoenix side of things. The only reason this is going to be a slight lean and probably sticking away from a final play is that Chris Paul is questionable in that game. So it's obviously going to be, kind of up in the air in terms of if he's going to play or not. If he's a game time decision, we might not put that much thought and effort into this game today. But I also lean the over 223.5 as well, 216 is there, and my model has it going at 223.5. The model's been performing really well. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit here, but I'm going to lean the Suns here -7 and the over 216. We had the over in the Dallas Magic game a couple nights back, and that did not cash. So I don't know if it's that low number that's like the bait on the hook, like I always say, and I'm going for it stupidly. But there's also a lot of injuries on the Orlando side of things, back to the spread coming here. Cole Anthony is out, Mo Wagner out, Paolo Banchero questionable. A lot of injuries to keep an eye on. So, I lean Phoenix -7 in this one, but I'll keep an eye on the injury report throughout the day. All right, moving on to the Pistons taking on the Knicks here. The Knicks 8-point favorites against this Pistons team. The total 226 right now. Alec Burks upgraded to probable for Detroit. Marvin Bagley upgraded to questionable for Detroit. And Cade Cunningham also questionable for Detroit. Hamidou Diallo is also questionable. So they have a bunch of question marks here. And no new injuries for New York in this one. Detroit coming off of that loss to Boston. And New York coming off a loss to Brooklyn. A pretty bad one as well. You think Brooklyn's spiraling, and all of a sudden they go out and smack you around 112-85. I think that New York comes out and says, you know what, no, we got to step it up. Let's bounce back from that loss there. Last time they did that, they lost to the Celtics 133-118. They bounced back and beat Minnesota, who's a good team, 120-107. So I'm going to lean New York in this one, -8. I don't love that it's that high of a number, but this Detroit team is not very good at all. I think we all know that. 3-9 on the season, 4-7-1 against the spread. So I'm going to lean the Knicks here, -8. Next up, we got the Bucks taking on the Spurs. The Bucks actually underdogs in this game. Went right to the injury report. No Drew Holiday. Obviously, no Chris Middleton. No Giannis. No Pat Connaughton. Joe Ingles. All out for Milwaukee. So they really don't have much going on. San Antonio, no new injuries to note here. But San Antonio's coming off of 5 straight losses now. They're coming off of 2 straight covers against Denver and Memphis. But a little surprising to see them still be favorites in this one. It's only 2 points, so I can see where Vegas came from here. But against a Bucks team that, yes, they're missing all their crucial players, but they've still been a good team this season. That said, I'm going to lean San Antonio in this one. I don't necessarily love this play. Like, it's really, really up in the air for me because all the numbers, and being very analytical better, all the numbers clearly account for a healthy Bucks team. A healthy Bucks team. So I don't necessarily love trusting the model and everything like that in this game. So I'm going to probably stick away from this game solely because of all those injuries. And, sometimes when a team has no one playing and all these injuries, they go and ball out with like the third stringers. So I'm probably sticking away from this game. If anything, I do peak at the over at 220.5. But again, with all those injuries, I get a little weary about it if I'm just being completely honest. Guys, before we get on to the second half of the slate, I do want to talk to you about the models that we have been rolling with. The models this year are absolutely killing it. And you can get those models by becoming a member on the channel. $2.99 a month, and you guys get the daily models that we have. Right now, the spread model that we have is hitting at a 68% clip on the season from 10/25, so August 25th on. And then in terms of our player prop model, absolutely crushing it. We started this, we rolled it out just a couple weeks back, and we're already at a 57% hit rate, 403 and 307 in terms of win-losses there. Last night we go 15-2. Not the best, but still profitable. It's really, really cool. The player prop model that we've built simulates each player's game 500 times and then gives you a percentage and margin based on what happens in the simulations. So definitely cool stuff to check out. If you do want access to that, all you got to do is hit that join button, $2.99. We're always trying to do more and more for the ballers. We're going to start shouting out the ballers during the videos like we did last year as well. Just pick a handful at random and shout you guys out. So, obviously it's one way to support the channel. That's number one. If you guys do find it in your heart to be able to support on a month-to-month basis. But we're trying to give you guys perks just like this model and everything like that, it's just another tool to throw into your sports betting arsenal when it comes to picking games and everything like that. So definitely consider that, guys. I do think that these models are a lot of time and effort went into them, so I do trust them, and they have been pretty successful this season. All right, let's move along here. Toronto taking on OKC. OKC is like, I want to bite at the bait, plus 5.5. We know we call them the rumbling cover and thunder, but they just haven't been doing that as of late. OKC has 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games in which they did not cover. They're 6-5 against the spread this season, meaning 4 of those 5 losses against the spread have all come in a row. Still no Pascal Siakam for Toronto. In terms of OKC, Darius Bazley is downgraded to out. This one, I don't want to bet against the Thunder, but I do think that I lean Toronto minus the 5.5 points. In terms of the total here, I don't love anything either. I think that this game probably sits right around 220, and it's a 221.5 total. So I'm going to lean Toronto. It pains me to do it. I think that this Thunder team definitely could pull this off. But based on how they've been trending and how they've been playing, I don't want to just take a shot in the dark thinking, oh, they'll break out of this slump right now. No. So I'm going to go Toronto minus 5.5 in this one. Keep an eye on the pinned comment, see if it becomes a final play. All right, Grizzlies. This should be a good game. Grizzlies taking on the Timberwolves in this one. The total is 234.5. And I'll tell you right now, I know that both these teams can score the rock. I know that they can play up-tempo basketball, but we might be peaking at the under in this game. We know that Minnesota burned us one game, but they're still trending in an under direction here. In their last 10 games, they've gone under 7 times. And Memphis, obviously an over team. You think about them as the high-paced team. I think they're the highest-paced team last season. They also 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 unders in the last 10 games. So because of their historical, I guess, stats and stuff like that, you think these teams are going to go way over. But I actually look at this game and say 234.5 is pretty high. So we might be taking a peek at the under. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I might trust the model on this one and truly say, you know what, I think that this has got a good chance of hitting. But in terms of a spread, I don't like either side. That's why I started with the total in this game. Minus 4.5. I could see the Grizzlies being able to, match that. Minnesota looked like a good team, but they're only 5-7 straight up this season. 4-8 against the spread. People thought that they were going to be really, really good with the Twin Towers and everything like that. But they just haven't really done that. 1-5 in their last 5 games against the spread, or last 6 games against the spread. Memphis, on the other hand, definitely capable of a 4.5 spread, but they haven't been great against the spread either. 4-7-1 this season. So I don't love the number there, but I do take a peek at the under. All right, second to last game here on the board, we got the Cavs taking on the Warriors. This Cavs team, 8-3 straight up, also 8-3 against the spread, and the Warriors, surprising, 4-7 straight up, 3-8 against the spread on the season. No new injuries for Cleveland, and also no new injuries for Golden State. Cleveland coming off of 2 straight losses. Golden State coming off of a win to Sacramento, but we're on the right side of that. We had Sacramento, I think it was like +7 in that game. They only win that game by 3 points. I'm not impressed with this Golden State team. Now, they are at home, so it worries me a little bit, but I think I lean the underdog here on the road, Cleveland, plus the 1.5. Now, I don't think Cleveland is getting enough if Golden State goes out and plays good basketball, right? So what we're doing is we're almost betting on a lackluster game from the Warriors, because if Golden State goes out and plays the basketball we know that they can play, I think that they can take this Cleveland Cavaliers team to the woodshed. So we're kind of thinking that this game is going to be a Warriors not playing their best game, and that isn't like the best way to lay a bet. So this is truly a lean. This could be one, we do the both-sider method, where we take the Cavs money line pregame and then live bet if the Cavs go on a run, and take the Warriors money line for plus money, and then, make money either way. We'll walk you through that. Keep an eye on the pinned comment if I do that. All right, next up, we got the Lakers taking on the Kings here. Kings 4-point favorites against the Lakers. Kings coming off that cover, like I had said, against Golden State. They're not playing bad basketball. In their last 5 games, they've covered 4 of those. And the Lakers, 4 straight losses against the spread here, and 4 straight losses as well against Utah, Cleveland, Utah again, and then the Clippers. Obviously that this Lakers team is kind of spiraling. No LeBron tonight. Anthony Davis is upgraded to probable, and Lonnie Walker is questionable. If Anthony Davis doesn't play, then I'm easily going with the Kings here, -4. But I'm going to keep an eye on that injury report. I think that this Kings team can definitely take it to them if the Lakers truly don't have anyone healthy. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you're watching right now, we got a comment of the day. I waited till the end of the video, not strategically, just because I forgot. But let's comment the word luck. L-U-C-K. Got to keep it simple. Again, I can't spell big words. Luck in the comments if you're still watching at this point. If you are, thank you very much. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.